raising your prices. But shh, don't tell your customers. Hi, I'm Yvan Lacroix. This is the Detailer's Business Academy, where we strive to take you from detailer to entrepreneur. Raising your prices without telling your customers you've raised your prices. Sounds a little odd, isn't it? Well, it is. There are a lot of ways to raise your profits without actually raising those numbers on the menu board. One of the ways, and my favorite way, is efficiency. Yes, gaining efficiency. By gaining efficiency, you'll do a couple things. First of all, you'll take less time to do the job, but you'll be able to charge the same amount. Secondly, you'll actually be raising your quality. And by raising your quality, well, hey, you can raise your prices. So it's a double-edged sword, and let's look at how that works. First thing is raising your efficiency. One of the things I've always taught to do is to take a video camera, and you could use your phone, you can use a security camera, whatever you want, whatever you have. Even that old VHS camera, if you have one, if you're old enough. Nonetheless, take a camera, set it up in the corner of the shop, or when you're setting up your mobile rig, set the camera up first. Then record a day's worth of work. Just let it go, record. Then sit down with someone who enjoys a really good bowl of popcorn and watch that movie. Probably be the most boring movie you'll ever see, but the only movie you'll ever see is going to pay you. Now, how's it going to pay you? You're going to see inefficiencies, and you want to have someone with you that isn't a detailer, that has nothing to do with the detailing industry. And they're going to ask you, well, why are you doing this? Well, why did you do that? I saw you doing this, but why? All those whys will get you thinking as well. And they'll get you thinking about, I saw myself washing the car, but I walked around the car 18 times. Could have done it 3 times around the car. Or why was I walking back and forth to that shelf all the time? Little things like that can gain you up to 25% efficiency. Now, raising your efficiency by 25% means you've raised your prices by 25%. And your customer doesn't even know. It'll also raise your quality level, because now you're going to have a standard way of doing things. You'll know that if you're washing the car, you start at this corner and work your way around and finish at the same corner, instead of doing the front bumper, then the trunk lid, then the roof, then the rocker panels. Then after that, maybe the door jambs. Who knows? Once you develop a logical order to do things in, so it's called in the industry a standard operating procedure. Look it up, SOPs. So SOPs are a very valuable thing to have to be able to raise your prices. And what SOPs do, or standard operating procedures, is give you the luxury of doing everything the same way, the same efficiency every time. That increase in efficiency, again, you're raising your prices, or you're raising your profits without raising your prices. And increasing efficiency increases quality. That quality comes from not missing anything, because before, we'll take an example, you're doing an interior, you vacuum out one section, then you blow off the dust in another section, then you wipe off the dash, then you go to the back seat and vacuum it out, then you come back to the front seat, then you go to the passenger seat, then you go to the trunk. You're all over the place. And hopefully you're not like that, but you never know. And your employees might be that way. Once you get that figured out and you're able to have a repeatable process every time, so a standard operating procedure. You know, you walk into a McDonald's, we'll use that as an example. They have people that cook the hamburgers the same. Whether you're in a McDonald's in Granby, Quebec, or you're in McDonald's in San Diego, California, they all taste the same. And they all taste the same because they're all cooked exactly the same, to the second, at the same temperature, the same oil, in the same, you name it. Because McDonald's is a wonder of standard operating procedures. If you've ever worked there, you'll know what I'm talking about. And if you haven't worked there, don't belittle people who've worked at McDonald's. It's a great training ground. That being said, having that standard operating procedure will increase your quality because you have repeatability. Every time you're doing something, you'll know exactly what you're doing, why you're doing it, and how you're going to be doing it, and what the next step is going to be. And when you have employees, it becomes even more important to have standard operating procedures. Those standard operating procedures take a bit of pressure, actually a lot of pressure, off your employees. That pressure comes in not knowing what to do. We'll give you an example of that. If you have the typical detailer's shelf, And that is a shelf that has 18 waxes, 26 compounds, some polishes, 5 or 6 different APCs, and all sorts of other stuff. You just told your employee to wax the car. Which one do they choose? Which one were you talking about? Did you specify which wax? Do they know which wax? No. But if you only have one wax on the shelf, or you have a standard operating procedure that says, on yellow Kias, you use this wax, well, your employee will know exactly what wax to choose and apply that wax to the vehicle. And in doing so, that employee has one less decision to make in the day, one less chance of making an error. So having that standard operating procedure and having that efficiency in place raises your quality, because now that quality is a much higher level. That quality is consistent across the board, because every yellow Kia that comes in will have that same wax if the customer pays for that wax. Now, there are other ways of raising your prices, other strategies, again, without raising the number on the menu. Quality, repeatability, standard operating procedures are the big three. The other way of doing it is upsells and packaging and eliminating things that don't make you profits. An example, wheel wells and wheel barrels. As detailers, we're fanatical about them. We see wheel barrels on every car. We look at the wheel barrel. We go at it with a toothbrush. We go at it with multiple different brushes to clean those wheel barrels. Our customers, on the other hand, most of them have never seen a wheel barrel. They look at the face of the wheel and don't go past it. So eliminating little things like that, like spending 20 minutes on each wheel, and I've seen it done, and I've seen some detailers spend 30 minutes on a wheel for a standard car wash. No. Now, if you're doing a wheels off detail, of course, but if the customer is paying you for a little maintenance detail, you don't do the inside of the wheels. Yes, you'll get in there with some APC, you'll get in there with a pressure washer, but you don't try to get every last speck of dirt off of those wheels, because your customer is simply not paying you for it. Now, I've taught for a long time that if the customer is paying you for a hot dog, you don't give them a steak. You walk into McDonald's and order their basic cheeseburger for 99 cents. They don't look at you and go, ooh, he looks hungrier than that, we'll give him a Big Mac. They simply won't do it. And the same is true. You order a hot dog in a nice little diner, they're not going to look at you and go, oh, no, you should really be eating a steak. We're going to give you a steak instead. And sometimes you want the hot dog. You feel like having a hot dog. You don't feel like eating a steak. You feel like eating a hot dog. So if your customers paid you for a hot dog, it's because they wanted a hot dog. Had they wanted a steak, they would have paid you for a steak. So give them exactly what they want. Now, you can give them a little more. You can give them a chili cheese dog if they're paying for a hot dog, but don't give them a steak, please. With that, we've increased your quality. We've increased your standard operating procedures. We've increased all sorts of things. But more importantly, we've increased your profits and we've increased your customer satisfaction. And one little thing about profits, it's not a dirty word. It's far from being a dirty word, because profits are an essential part of customer service. If you are not profitable, you won't be there to serve your customers the next time they need you, because you'll be looking for a job. You'll be out of business. You simply won't be there. So profits are a very important part of customer service and a very important part of being an entrepreneur. If you're not profitable, why are you doing this? Think about that. Thanks for joining me. My name is Yvan Lacroix. If you have any questions, comments, thoughts, or ideas, leave them below. I'm always happy to answer. If you want more information like this, you can always hit that subscribe button and even that little notification bell. Thanks for watching. See you next time.